I told you guys the Antifa story, right? When they didn't recognize me.
I think so.
I probably did.
Is this in Germany?
No.
Oh, okay.
This one's in New York.
Oh, okay. I don't know this one.
I've told it often, so I'll be quick with it. I mean, maybe there's a lot of people who aren't familiar, but Mike Cernovich was speaking at Columbia University in New York, so I decided to go check it out. And I've actually spoken there too. I was invited to like PhD programs at Columbia several times. So I'm like, oh, I'll go bring my camera and I'll film stuff. So I'm in this lobby with, I don't know, 100 protesters, and they're all yelling, Mike Cernovich, oh, we hate the guy or whatever. And I'm just standing there like my eyes are half closed, glazed over, like this boring, whatever. Yeah. When all of a sudden someone yells, Tim Pool is alt-right or something like that.
Okay.
And they all start looking around confused because nobody knows who I am.
Yeah.
So you know what I did? I started looking around confused too. Like, oh, gee, who is this?
So
where's this guy?
Who's this guy?
And they couldn't figure it out.
Good moves.
And so they all start, the guy points towards me and everyone looks. So I turn with the camera and look too. Like I get it, dude.
Where is he?
You don't want to single yourself out to people who don't know what's going on. So I'm like, who are they talking about?
Yep.
And the guy, he puts his hand over, he's like, this guy. No one knows what's happening. And all of a sudden, some random dude starts yelling.
Yeah.
Walks up to some journalists on the other side of the room, an old guy wearing a vest with a camera. And he starts yelling at him, it's you. You people are the problem. And everyone's like confused. And the journalist like points himself like, me? Like, I don't know. And I'm like, I'm filming. And then finally the guy comes up and he's like, this is Tim Pool. And then they all turn around and start yelling at me.
Oh,
and I was laughing. I'm like, these people have no idea who I am.
They have no idea.
They're just saying whatever they were told to say. That's how messed up these people are. So, when it comes to Cenk Uygur of the Young Turks calling Trump a fascist when Trump says to actually relinquish government power.
Oh, yeah. Man.
You know what, man? I'm just trying to make sense of everything.
And he's had this power for a long while now and really hasn't used it.
They're mad he won't.
I know. It's like if he got the power and instantly started using it, they would have flipped out. They would have flipped and been like, he's crazy. He's finally done it. He's going off the rails. But then he was like, has he even used it once? I think he used it once. One time.
The Defense
to make
Production
the masks,
Act.
Right? So they were
to make 3M keep their masks here and bring the ones from overseas back here.
Right. And it's like,
then
you know what? That makes sense. I'm not even mad.
They've been calling the guy a fascist for years. And the dude's clearly not a fascist. I mean, look, the United States has authoritarianism, in various respects, and
through the whole government. Yeah.
Yeah, in various areas, typically like our law enforcement. The craziest thing to me is in the early 2010s, the entirety of the left was mistrusting of the intelligence agencies.
Yeah.
CIA and the FBI and the NSA. You had the Edward Snowden leaks, several years back. And then something strange happened. The intelligence agencies started going up against Trump, and all of a sudden they were heroes and everyone loved them.
Yes.
That's a good point.
But here's the problem I have with people like Cenk Uygur. He's a progressive. He's a Bernie Sanders guy, right?
Yeah.
He's not really. The actual progressives have no problem calling out the intelligence agencies, calling out Russiagate. Glenn Greenwald is a good example.
I don't know.
He's The Intercept. He's the guy who released the NSA documents.
Oh, okay.
He ragged on all of the media forever, the whole time, and he hates Trump. But he knows the media is full of it. He knows the intelligence agencies are full of it. So I disagree with him on certain things, but he's being honest about the press and the intelligence agencies. Mm-hmm. But people like Cenk Uygur, who immediately come out and say Trump is a fascist and we believe all these things, the media is lying. And then the media lies about him to try and stop him from running for Congress. Yeah, they smeared him, all these awful things. And then he just keeps towing the line. He's like a fake progressive. He says he's progressive. He says he's for Bernie. And then he really just agrees with whatever the mainstream media says, even though we know that they're full of it most of the time.
It's because it works.
Oh, he's bling bling, man.
That's why.
I mean, look, there's no better.
You can see it when he talks. He loves it. He's like, I love this.
When he films himself,
you're listening to me right now. I love it.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of it's noticeable after a while.
When he films himself, don't you know I am? Get me on this
plane. When he's at the airplane and he's like, can you believe they're not letting me of all people on this plane? It's like, are you seriously going there, dude? Like, get out of here. I no longer care about you.
Right.
It was already pretty slim anyway, but man.
When someone tries claiming that by giving up government authority or demanding an end to government authority that they're a fascist,
yep.
I'm just gonna give you a look.
It's like, come on.
Just look over there and.
Do you know what the word fascist means?
Clearly
That's
doesn't.
the first thing I'd ask them.
Yeah.
So I mean the best example of the dude clearly not being legit is that he union busted his own company.
I know.
It's the craziest thing. You know what Shane Smith of Vice said when his employees were unionizing?
What?
He's like, hey, great, cool. Good. Wish you best
awesome.
of luck.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
he was like, I'm excited for it. Sounds awesome.
That should be.
And he's I don't want to speak for him because I've never actually asked him about his political leanings, but people usually refer to him as more like a libertarian guy.
Okay.
Not like hardcore like right libertarian, but
kind
like
of the vibe I get from
very
him.
very capitalist libertarian.
Yeah.
You'd think if you took Vice, which is just cutthroat capitalist, I mean, it's the company's notorious for. I mean, they eventually got woke. You took that guy and you took Cenk Uygur and asked which one would union bust. You'd think people would be like, oh, the billionaire guy who's like got this massive company that does all these crazy clickbait documentaries.
Yeah.
Nope. Actually, he supported the union, and then they eventually unionized. And Cenk apparently yelled at some dude, threw papers on the ground, and started yelling. Fired the guy.
Seriously?
Fired the guy.
Oh, man.
Claimed it was for something else.
Of course.
Yeah. This dude's a fake progressive. He's a capitalist all the way. It's the same thing we saw with Mike.com, which I talked about a couple days ago. They were, they're capitalists. Bless their hearts, wanted to make some money, made some far left content to manipulate these people. You know what it is, man? If you try and be honest, you got a challenge. If you don't believe the ends justify the means, and so you're having a real conversation with someone and you're unwilling to lie, that's a tough sell. Now, if you're willing to lie, you can sell anything.
Yeah, I guess.
That's simple.
If you want to sell something.
Well, they do. They want to sell ads.
Yeah.
So they need those eyeballs.
So they're not being honest then.
Combine what we just talked about with all those people dancing with people like Cenk Uygur. And what do you get? They find a crowd of people. They put a few people in there to start yelling things like, we love Bernie. And then everyone else says, oh, yeah, me too. Yeah. And then just look over here, everybody. You want to fit in? Watch this. And they play the commercial and they make money. And then when their staff is like, hey, we'd like to, his staff goes, we agree with you. We'd like to unionize too. He goes, what? Not me. Oh, and throws his papers down. I'm a little biased, though, because Cenk yelled at me. I don't know if you guys
Did he really?
Yeah,
I don't know this story.
At Politicon.
Please tell me.
So there was this paper that came out that was totally fake news.
Okay.
Arguing that there was a group called the Alternative Influence Network.
Yes, I remember this.
And they put me right in the middle of this big conspiracy crime web of all these lines connected to each other. The whole thing was fake.
That's kind of fun, though.
It's insane, and it's been detrimental. It's probably the reason why my YouTube channel is blacklisted from Google.
Oh.
Because
wow, okay.
many of the people on that list immediately got blacklisted.
Ah.
The lower, lesser known personalities, the higher profile ones like Joe Rogan, they didn't touch.
Yeah.
But so this thing comes out, they put me in the middle. There's a guy named Chris Raygun. You know who he is? YouTube comedian. He does.
I don't think so.
He's a
I don't
YouTuber.
know.
He does videos with like a little toy llama, and he makes jokes, and he sometimes talks
No, I
politics.
don't.
But it's just he plays video games and he hangs out with his friends, and it's like silly stuff.
Sounds like my kind of guy.
They claimed that he had collaborated with a guy named Richard Spencer, one of the like most well-known.
Sounds familiar.
He's like the guy who coined alt-right, popularized it.
Yeah.
Very prominent
yeah.
white nationalist.
I think I can envision his face.
It's ridiculous that they would claim these guys had ever done anything together, and they
Okay.
did, and they used manipulative
and they ran
means.
with it.
And so this story comes out, and the Young Turks, because they hate Dave Rubin.
Mm-hmm.
Dave Rubin used to be on the Young Turks, so they hate him, and they ran a smear of him, and they used this as proof that Dave was part of a nefarious group of people. Ooh. And I saw the thumbnail, and sure enough, there's my name right in the middle.
Of course.
And I'm watching, I'm like, you gotta put my name right in the middle of the screen.
You're the ringleader?
So I sent him a message because I know Anna and Cenk, and I've been on their show a couple times, and I asked them, I was like, hey, I wonder how are things going? Just wanted to let you know, like, this is not true, and you guys were doing this thing about Dave. I don't know anything about your criticism of Dave or anything like that, but I'm just wondering if you'd be willing to leave my name out of whatever you guys are doing.
Yeah.
They ignored me. So when I was at Politicon in LA, I was up in this like media area, and I saw Cenk. He was talking to somebody, and I'm like, oh, it's Cenk. I've talked to him before. I talked to him at VidCon a couple years ago. He shook my hand. He said, how's it going, man? Good to see you again. Mm-hmm. And I saw him, and I was like, hey, Cenk, you got a quick second? I want to ask you something. He goes, no, I don't have any time, And I was like, no, this is serious, man. You guys ran a story. It was fake news, and it smeared me.
Yeah.
And then he just snapped.
Really?
He's like, what the you're talking about? You're a Trump supporter. What is this? And he just went off on me and started snapping. And I'm like, whoa, dude, what?
Oh my God.
It was the craziest thing. I was like, I didn't say anything. And then we went at it for a little bit. And I was like, why are you yelling at me? What's happening right now? And then finally, I was like, dude, I have no idea what you're talking about. He started bringing up like my criticism of Antifa. And he's like, I don't see you complaining about Trump. And I'm like, what does that have to do with people being violent in the streets? And he was like, okay, fine, whatever. And I was like, dude, all I was going to ask you is that you guys ran a hit on Dave and you put my name on it. I'm just asking you not to do that. And he goes, fine. And he points like his assistant, get his email and we'll figure it out. And I'm like, nah. So then this BBC crew filmed the whole thing.
Oh, they were in the room filming.
It was a hallway. And so the BBC crew followed him in.
Sparks fly between Tim Pool and Cenk Uygur.
I mean, barely sparks for me. The dude was just screaming at me. But the BBC guys went in, and this is what I was told. I don't know exactly what happened, but they asked. They said, hey, we filmed that whole thing, for, posterity or whatever, for, journalism. We want to make sure you have a chance to comment. And they basically said, GTFO or else. And so they came out and they went talk to me and they were like, we filmed the whole thing. They wouldn't give us a comment. They actually kicked us out. Yeah.
That sounds right.
Wow. Sounds about right.
Yep.
So
about right.
Look, man, take that story. I don't know what he was yelling about. I don't know why he was mad.
Yeah.
He just snapped on me. I'd never really talked to the guy. Got triggered for something. You want to run fake news, and just take without fact checking some story.
That seems to be the mainstream media's.
But they're not even mainstream.
I know. I'm generalizing.
You want to know what's funny,
man?
Man?
Media does that now.
You want to know what's funny, man? I'm
I do.
gonna go there.
I really
I'm gonna go there. Cenk Uygur likes to brag about his viewership. I wouldn't normally say. Yeah, it's what he's doing right now on Twitter. He's like, let me see if I can find this tweet he did. He's all mad because they said, let me find this tweet. It's a story saying Joe Biden is losing the internet. Here we go. Check this out. He said, I'm so tired of MSM being oblivious to what happens on YouTube and then writing think pieces about how dominant right-wing is. The Young Turks has more views than top 5 right-wing channels combined on YouTube. Democrats aren't dominant, but progressives are. All right. The Young Turks.
You're so cool, Cenk.
I know, right?
If you take
cool.
they have a network. And I think it's fair to say if you combine the views of all their network,
sure,
I think they get like 50 million views.
That's a lot.
That is
Sure.
a lot, yeah.
He says the top 5 right-wing channels combined on YouTube, Steven Crowder gets like 40 million.
Dude, the Daily Wire gets easily 1 million.
Yeah, well, he didn't put those on there.
1 million what, though?
Then this wouldn't be true.
So 40 views in a month. So
Yeah,
I don't know
no.
exactly what the Young Turks get on Google, but let me do this.
Wait, we were talking about the governors abusing power, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
we
yeah,
forgot
but
that a
we
long time
segue.
ago.
All right, check this out.
It's
So
funny.
the Young Turks main channel with 4.7 million viewers gets 34.344 million views. No, okay. They get about 1.3 million per day.
Watch out, Young Turks. We're coming for you.
That's right.
No,
Oh, no.
I'm not coming for
just
anybody.
kidding.
No.
No. But if you want to come out and complain and smack talk and talk about how big you are
Yeah.
when it's not even true,
I
that
know,
you're
that's
the
right.
biggest.
It's like, come on.
So they have a network. I think it's fair to point out. If you combine all their channels, they probably get
Yeah, they
many
do
more
well.
millions. But they got 4.7 million subscribers on their channel, and they're getting 34 million. Let's see if I can pull up Steven Crowder.
I'd be curious about the Daily Wire, too, then, in that context, as like a combined.
Crowder's cool. I started following him, I don't know, a month ago, and he's a funny dude.
He is a funny dude.
Yeah, he's a funny guy. Funny YouTube. Wow, this takes a really long time
Oh,
because
yeah.
of, here we go. Steven Crowder's got 25.865 with 4.4 million.
So he's almost got them by himself.
He's down about a third or so.
I know,
That's
but
fine.
by himself.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
I've got 600,000 subs, not 4.7 million.
Yeah.
And I get 28 million views on my Timcast news channel.
That's because you know why that is? Quality right there.
I don't know or
Quality.
care.
This guy,
Agree.
quality.
You're-
That's
so-
all right. I'll say it.
I look at
I got
all the
it.
channels we have.
Correct.
So I've got 4 channels. 3 of them are me hosting content by myself.
Whoa! You're bordering a line of talking about how many viewers you got.
I'm totally going to do it. I said I'm going to go there.
Yeah, man.
All right, go for it.
Because I want to make a point.
I know. I'm just poking at you.
This is why you don't go around bragging about how big your viewership is.
Yeah.
Because the Young Turks puts up like 15 videos per day on their channel, and they get 34 million. I put 5 videos, a third of the videos, and I get 66% of the views they get. So hey, if I doubled up, put 5 more videos up, then I'd be getting more than them with
Yeah.
only 2/3 of the content. Better yet, I put up a total of 6 videos per day. If you include my main channel, I'm getting like 42 million views per month. So I'm getting more than them with less than half of the amount of content produced.
Quality.
Yeah.
I don't care about the reason. I'm not going to go around bringing this up being like, Tim Pool gets all these views. Get me on this airplane.
Yeah,
That's the issue.
You don't record
No, you
yourself
wouldn't.
yelling at airplane staff. So
Oh, man.
Clearly, it's gone to his head. The dude runs a business. It's successful enough. He doesn't want his staff to unionize. He's pretending he's progressive. I think it's funny when they're like, Tim Pool pretends to be on the left. I'm like, I don't care what you think of me. I handle my life the way I handle my life. If you want to got a problem with someone pretending to be on the left, go talk to the dude who just union busted his own company.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we somehow got off of
Yeah.
the governor's.
Yeah, I heard about that union busting thing before I saw that airplane video, and I was like, that is ridiculous. That's
And
what,
the airplane
that's what
video's
Walmart's
old.
trying to do to their employees, and it's like, man, this is the worst. Like, unions are good.
They tried claiming it was a smear campaign from his Democratic opponent to make him look bad during the campaign or something like that.
Really?
Something like that.
Was it like 8 years old?
Yeah. Whatever.
No, the union busting.
Oh.
Yeah, he was like
video's old.
the people coming out and smearing him were like tied to his opponent or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, probably. That's the Democratic Party. Sounds about
happened,
right.
right?
I mean, that's politics in general. Everyone does that.
Yeah.
Tell me again about how you're the outside anti-establishment character who's just parroting everything they say.
Yeah.
You know what, man? There's a media establishment that he tries to be a part of. That's what's really like annoying about it. He goes around bragging about his viewership. You know what he's doing? He's going to the media and being like, "Can I be in your club?
Yeah.
I get a bunch of views too. Why won't you write about me?"
Yeah.
It's like,
You're so right. That's true.
that's what he's doing.
So cringy.
Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. We do the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. If you want to catch the full show, tune in to this channel, subscribe, hit the like button, or check us out on iTunes and Spotify, and we will soon have this podcast up for free on all podcast platforms. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all in the next episode.